Hi guys, today I'm making a review video on my 3 favorite hunting knives. This video I've been pretty excited about making for quite some time. I'm going to be reviewing the Grohmann, the Light My Fire, and one that I actually made myself. So let's start with the Grohmann. Now this knife, I actually got it for a gift a long time ago and I never used it, and then one day I decided to throw it in my pack and take it out. This is probably one of the best knives I've actually ever owned. If people don't know the story behind these Grohmann knives, they're actually made in Canada. The family that originally started making these was from Germany, I believe, post World War II. They settled in the East Coast, and I believe the family now is just continuing on making these. But stainless steel blade, wood handle, pretty basic knife, but super hard steel on this particular knife. I've heard different people talk about these, that their blades were softer than others. This one I've found has been incredibly hard steel. In fact, I can't even get a good edge on it myself when I try to sharpen it at home. I take this one in to get professionally sharpened. It has a little bit of a different shape, but it's essentially just a drop point knife. Very easy to handle, stays sharp a long time. You can usually get through probably 2.5 deer-sized animals on one sharpening. I've done a couple bison with this, and it will get through about half a bison processing it, and that includes caping it and getting some of the meat cut. Really good knife overall, feels good in your hand, and I just like the way this carries it, handles. It's a really good knife. I'd recommend this guy to anybody. The other thing I really like with these Grohmanns, comes with a really nice leather case, comes with a sharpener. I've never really used this honer, I guess, to fix the blade. The blade's been incredibly hard, stays sharp quite a long time, and just overall really good knife. The next knife that I want to take a look at here is the one by Light My Fire. Now this is another knife that I got as a gift, and I was pretty reluctant to use it. It's one of these knives that you'll find in places like MEC, and it seemed like a bit of a gimmicky kind of a knife. It's made with Swedish steel, and when I did use it though, I was very impressed with this knife. The blade is super hard, it stays sharp an incredibly long time. Now this isn't a drop point, it's kind of, I'm not even sure what you call this blade type, but it's kind of halfway between a drop point and a caping knife, I would say. But it is incredibly good. You could probably do an entire deer for sure, skinning and cutting it up on one sharpen of this. The handle as well is, it looks really plasticky, and that's why I kind of was reluctant to use it. But it's, this black centerpiece is actually rubber, and it's got a really good feel and really good grip when you're holding it and using it. It doesn't fall out of your hand or slip or anything like that. I really like this as a secondary knife. But that being said, with this I believe it's 420 stainless, I can't remember now, but might be harder than that even. But it's so hard, it's harder than the Grohmann, I would say, to get a knife, or to get an edge on this knife at home. I've never been able to properly sharpen this, so this is another one I bring in to get professionally sharpened. It does have this piece in the handle that pulls out as well, and it's supposed to be a fire starter or flint. You know, like most of this stuff, it's pretty gimmicky. I've never actually tried it to make a real fire. It does spark on the blade, but I mean, no one practically is going to use this to start a fire. It's, for the weight of it, I would say it's a pretty good knife to have in your backpack as an all-purpose knife, and definitely a good knife as a secondary knife if you're doing something like taking down an elk apart or whatever, and you just don't want to bother sharpening your primary knife, and you want to just keep on cutting the thing up. The case on this is a hard plastic case, pops in, it stays pretty secure in there. It's got a belt clip. The case is pretty junky. Like, it serves its purpose. It's okay, but I personally prefer the leather cases. Maybe I'm just old school, but this does the trick. Your knife will stay in there. It's kind of secure, and it won't pop out on you in your backpack, that's for sure. Anyways, I don't think I carry this around my belt. Just, it doesn't even have a fixed belt loop. It's just kind of a clip. But definitely a good secondary knife, and for the price of it, I don't know if you could beat it just for a secondary blade. Okay, so that's something. Alright, now the third knife is this one that I've made myself. I made this when I was, I think, 12 or 13 years old. It took me forever to finish. I hand carved the handle, laminated it, put the pins in, and it came from like a knife making kit, so it was the first attempt. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, but it's held together incredibly well. I've actually been pretty surprised at how much I've liked this. This is, I'd say this would be your absolute typical drop point hunting knife. And this steel, I don't even know what the grade of the steel is, but it's quite a soft stainless anyways. And the one thing I really like with this is how easy it is to get an edge on it. So you might go out, like, you can probably get a full deer out of this knife in terms of skinning it and cutting it up into quarters, but that would be absolute max. But that being said, if you do need to get an edge on it in the field, it doesn't take very long to get an edge back on it. Really easy to get a nice edge on it at home as well with one of these home sharpening kits. But I used to carry this all the time, but I've since upgraded to carrying this Grohmann around, just because I hunt in the mountains a lot more now and kind of prefer having that harder edge, and bring it once and don't bother sharpening it during the trip. But this is definitely a project that is worth doing if you're ever into making a knife of your own. Consider using a softer stainless when you are doing it, just so you can get that edge on if that's something that's important to you. But the one challenge with doing something like this at home is obviously the case. So it took me a long time, but I finally found a knife making shop that carried just a ton of different cases, leather cases, just that you could pick through and whatnot. And I finally did find this one. It's all leather. It's really good case, but it just happens to fit this knife exactly how I carved the handle and the blade. So I got super lucky. But if you are gonna attempt to make your own knife, that is one of the considerations. Is are you going to make the case yourself? If so, you're probably fine making whatever you want. If not, you might want to consider a standard shape and style, just so you can buy an over-the-counter case. But anyways, guys, that's the review on my 3 favorite hunting knives: Grohmann, the Light My Fire, and this homemade one that I've done. Give me a like and comment below if you've enjoyed this video, or if you've got your own preferences for knives. And also just let me know what you think is another good option for a knife. I didn't cover caping knives in this, or the scalpels, but maybe we'll do that in a future video. Anyways, thanks for tuning in.